Have you ever wondered why you feel dissatisfied with life no matter what you do? No matter what you accomplish, or no matter how many relationships you get into, no matter how many things or substances you use to distract yourself. You could accumulate possessions, wealth, or have a ton of exciting experiences, but the hole still remains. It's deep, dark, and infinite, and nothing ever seems to fill it. And yet, we still use the same unfulfilling things to try to distract ourselves from that deep longing for more. The world tells us to search for ultimate meaning in a plethora of unfulfilling pursuits. Success. The first lie contemporary culture tells us is that success will make us happy. When the word success is mentioned, it is often used to mean the accomplishment of goals, the accumulation of wealth, possessions, and power. Now, there is nothing wrong about being wealthy or powerful. All these things have their space in our lives. But if an individual finds their meaning in accomplishment, wealth, or power, they will be sorely disappointed. I'm sure you have realized that after accomplishing a goal, the excitement of that success soon wears off, and you begin to think to yourself, maybe if I accomplish that other goal, I'll be fulfilled. And after you accomplish that one, on to the next, and the cycle continues. This was certainly true for the famous Macedonian conqueror, Alexander the Great. Alexander conquered most of the known world during his time. He acquired wealth and power like no other person at the time. But he still desired more. He was never satisfied. The only reason Alexander stopped forging forward with his conquest was because his troops mutinied. If Alexander had more wealth, fame, power, and possessions than you as an ordinary person can imagine, and was still unfulfilled, what makes you think that those things will fulfill you? Like many people, Alexander was inspired by the culture at the time, which encouraged conquest in order to gain glory and fame. In a similar fashion, our culture tells us that success will give us ultimate meaning. Besides this, there are yet other false substitutes for meaning and fulfillment that contemporary culture encourages us to pursue. Relationships. Find the right person to be in a romantic relationship with, and life will be roses and butterflies. That's what society tells us. They tell us the reason you're not fulfilled is because you haven't found the right person yet. This too is an inadequate substitute for ultimate meaning. This is not to say that romantic relationships are not important in life. Having a faithful companion to do life with can be very beneficial, as that companion can help in fulfilling your physical and emotional needs. But it is important to recognize that no human being can fulfill your longing for ultimate fulfillment. At the end of the day, the companion you choose is only human and therefore finite, meaning that they cannot fill the deep, infinite hole in your heart. Only an infinite being can do that. Expecting ultimate fulfillment from a human will only leave you disappointed. Pleasure. If it feels good, do it. You only live once after all. This is the creed of a life devoted to hedonistic pursuit. The philosophy that whatever is pleasurable is good leads people to make poor choices in order to experience short-term enjoyment. Do all the drugs you can. Have as many sexual partners as you can. Drink as much alcohol as you can, as long as it feels good. This way of thinking is not only spiritually unfulfilling, it could also have detrimental effects on your body. A life devoted to debauchery can lead to addiction, STIs, disease, and motor vehicle accidents. Such a philosophy not only makes you physically vulnerable, it also reduces your life to those debaucherous activities you choose to engage in. Not only that, but at the end of all of this, you'll be left deeply unfulfilled, as temporary pleasures could never lead to the procurement of lasting fulfillment. Counterfeit spirituality. Perhaps an even more dangerous pursuit is that of counterfeit spirituality. Too often, we see the exchange of true spirituality for a counterfeit kind. In contemporary culture, we often see this through the practices of astrology, angel numbers, the New Age, and other weird practices. What makes these practices more dangerous for the individual is that they give a semblance of spirituality, which gives a false sense of assurance for the individual who partakes in them. Through these practices, people connect to a false sense of the divine. This happened with the great theologian of the Catholic Church, Saint Augustine. Before embracing the Christian faith, he was an adherent of the Manichaean religion. This was a Gnostic, dualistic religious movement which taught that the material world was evil and only the spiritual reality was good. Eventually, Augustine found true faith and ultimate meaning in Jesus. He embraced Orthodox Christian belief. By Orthodox belief, I don't mean the denomination, but I mean the almost universally accepted beliefs in Christendom at the time. After finding ultimate meaning in God, Augustine penned these words: "You have made us for yourself, O Lord, and our heart is restless until it rests in you." The longing for ultimate meaning is deep, dark, and infinite, and it can only be filled by the infinite God who is light. No finite thing can satisfy a desire for the infinite. Once an individual experiences the light, they experience true life.